Hey everyone,
Hey.
welcome to another episode of Elevated.
Thrive in 5.
Yes, so this week we really wanted to focus on incorporating what's happening in our nation, a lot of the tension and current events. It's very important that we take a moment and acknowledge what's happening, which actually will fall into one of our Thrive in 5s, and just share some strategies and steps, things that we have acknowledged that has happened along
The way. Just within a week, like
Just
lessons
within a week.
that I feel we're learning that we should just share. Like these are lessons and you may be experiencing these too, or we may share something in that you might be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
What's happening and how you should handle
And
it.
how it might happen to you.
Yes. So I'm going to start off with number one. The first one is around the acknowledgement in personal settings. I, as a leader, made it my business to make sure to check in with the team, to make sure that we acknowledge that what was happening, that wherever people were at, that they needed to sit with those feelings. If they needed a moment, if they needed to disconnect, that they should. And then just asking the question, how are you? How are you feeling? I thought that was really, really important. And I also thought that because I know that I bared witness to being in a meeting that wasn't done. And it was almost like the elephant in the room, even when someone acknowledged, like, this is not really the time to think about, like, the jovial moments. Like, I'm not okay right now, and neither are the children that I'm serving, and it was just kind of, like, passed over. So acknowledgement makes people feel that you are being empathetic.
You're present in the world.
You're present with what's happening and showing some compassion. Even if you're indifferent to it, at least you should say, how are you feeling? Checking your heart and spirit. And let people just speak.
It's very true. Acknowledgement is important. I've been in 2 meetings where they were like staff meetings this week, and both of those leaderships have taken the time to open it up. However, I've also been hearing friends who are kind of like, no one even said anything. And to know what that person is feeling like. I also then, this is just my own kind of spirit, if by the end of the meeting, I think you should share and express to whoever is maybe the manager, the leader, that, I think it's important that you say something about this situation, even if you're the only one on that team, but it's important for everybody to know, like,
how you're feeling.
Yeah, so I would say something if you're in something you feel like we're in this meeting, you're not going to say anything about what's going on in the world, or take a moment to pause before we just jump into regular, because things are regular.
Like, people can't even function with COVID, but now this is happening. And I'll be honest, we literally had a mental health provider even sit and talk to the staff, like even acknowledging, and once they even had conversations with the scholars, I felt that it was still important for us to have a mental health provider to just check in, to acknowledge how folks were feeling. And then we also had a community activist speak about ways and solutions that we can feel present, offer solutions to feel a little bit more hopeful than feeling helpless, because we just essentially can't do anything more. So it was really, really powerful, but acknowledgement is number one.
Number 2, discomfort and fear around all of it, around the topic when it comes to, and when I say discomfort and fear, I'm not talking about our counterparts. I'm talking about even Black people having discomfort and fear that's then preventing them, especially if you are then an educator, from speaking to children about this topic. Some of us are becoming so uncomfortable, and I get it. It's very, it can be triggering. It's very emotional.
It's very heavy.
It's heavy, but we also have to remember in these times, especially if, like, this is especially for those working with children, or those you may have just children in your household, that we have conversations, that we engage them. Yes, it's traumatic, but think about if you're a young person and you're just seeing images and you're just hearing.
No one's acknowledging.
You're just hearing your family talk, but no one's talking to you directly about anything, asking you your thoughts. We have to move past what our discomfort is, our fears, to have those where there's discomfort, there is growth.
And to that point, talking allows you to heal. When you hold it in, it's almost like the dirty secret, the lie, there's no way of even unpacking and talking about the truths that may be connected so that we can have a holistic understanding of what's really happening. So that it also prepares the children or those around us who may not be aware for what the future holds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we have to take time to do that, because unfortunately we've seen these incidents happen over and over again.
Right.
And there are a lot of young people who have no idea, no clue where this is coming from.
Yeah.
And they are not prepared when it comes to navigating this world. They're just not.
So we have to start, wear the hat. It's not about me. I need to push through, because this is growth for everybody, a learning opportunity for, especially for the future.
Number 3 is going to be around friendships not equaling solidarity or allyship. So I say that Monique and I agreed on this very thing. Sometimes you're friends with people who could be like your black friend or person of color, right? Who just doesn't believe in any of this. And that's your friend. And honestly, sometimes situations like this, you unearth how someone actually feels, because right now we're all sitting and having to be present with it. Like sometimes there's been incidents, you know, you may talk about a news report or you may talk about a video you saw, but right now everyone is so still and have nowhere else to go that you're forced to talk about it. And I've had folks call me and be like, I cannot believe that she was not in agreement with people protesting. And I'm like, and so their disappointment was, I thought they would agree with what I believe in. And I'm like, well, y'all never had a conversation. So you cannot equate friendship to automatically solidarity, and also allyship. Just because you may have a friend who's white does not mean that they are going to automatically step up and be present and want to do the protest with you, or want to speak out, or want to send an email on your behalf, or share with their people about what's going on and why this is wrong. Because unless those who represent the very people that have been oppressive are the ones speaking up on your behalf, the same group is not going to move, right? So the allyship is important, because if you're now saying this is wrong and these are the reasons why they're wrong, they are now holding their folks accountable, right? So there are a lot of other folks who are like, oh my God, I thought we were so cool. And I'm like, but why? The issue of race is very heavy, and we often don't tackle it until we're forced. And when we are forced, it becomes very ugly, right? Because we can only literally be accountable for ourselves and our actions. And when we recognize that people aren't aligned to how we believe, then at that point, you have to just make a final decision about how to move forward.
Whatever that looks like for you. But do know, like we're saying, friendship and that solidarity and that allyship are not equal.
The same, yes.
They are not equal. Number 4. I'm going to say it bad. Be aware of agitators out there. They have risen. Pick your battles carefully, because they are coming
full throttle,
no days off, just back to back. Agitators are out here trying to really push buttons in a way. So you have to really distinguish what's happening here.
Yeah. And also, you know, there are enough documentaries between Netflix and Amazon Prime that really do speak about when we talk about race, it's inciting. And since the 2016 election, it has increased tremendously on social media, because there are literally companies from Russia who are paying various individuals to be online all day, every day, to find images, to continuously incite us. People are writing comments, and I'm going to say on the Lopez effect, I shared how, you know, because I had a sweatshirt on that said, "Dear Black man, you are loved, you are appreciated." All the great things that we should be affirming. in our men. And then my scholars wear the shirt I matter, just to affirm that who they are and how they matter. Call me an idiot for it, and something about me drinking Kool-Aid, and they don't know if I'm sipping it or making it. And it was just like, really? And I had a whole bunch of them because of this post, and it was on LinkedIn. When I say I had so many comments, my energy, I couldn't allow it to get me to a place of responding, because it's clickbait, right? If I respond, someone else is going to jump on and respond, and then it becomes something ugly. I just simply blocked.
Starting fires. People trying to start fires.
And I blocked and I reported harassment, because that's the power that I'm going to flex. Just the same way folks can be making phone calls and saying someone African American is harassing me, is the same way I'm going to say this person who just DM'd me is saying something that's inappropriate. Y'all need to handle it. Period.
Save your energy for the things that matter, because people out here trying to push your buttons in a way that they don't need to be pushed.
No.
Agitators, beware. And you can take 5.
Number 5, don't discriminate on who you need to check.
My thing is, everybody can get it.
Because there are some people who are coming out of pocket. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what race, whatever. Just stay in your lane. If you don't have nothing good to say, if you can't identify with this stuff, we can respectfully disagree, but what you're not going to do is be demeaning, demoralizing, or come crazy. And it's the bottom line. And I'm not going to give you a pass or let you slide because it's our fault. No. No.
Wrong is wrong, right is right.
And if you're not helping, you're hurting.
Hello.
So everybody gets checked.
Everybody can get checked.
And that's how we set standards.
It's true.
Let's be clear. So, we just want to acknowledge where we are. We want to just let you know that the same way you're sitting with these things, we have experienced it ourselves. And it's important to have conversations. Make sure you do that. Engage in the positive. There's so much imagery online. And I also want to add that I did go to a protest, and it was very peaceful. It was very organized. And the images that you see in the media are continuously perpetuated in a way to create more fear
and division.
And when I tell you there were people of all hues, all faiths, all genders, all sexuality, didn't matter. We were all one for the cause of fighting against injustice. And so with that, we want to end this.
Yep.
Thank you for tuning in to another
Thrive in 5 Elevated Talks.
Till next time.
Peace.